My name is John Connor. I'm the head varsity coach here. This is my seventh year here at Savanna. Extremely blessed just to be a part of a program that embodies so much of what we want in these young men, and as evidence, like Mr. Portillo said, seeing this group here tonight is evidence of that it does take a village to raise these young men, and I appreciate the support that we received. In today's day and age of wanting information quicker and wanting to win faster and wanting results so much quicker, it shows what kind of character these young men have when you have a program that has traditionally been successful not win a game in December at any level, and still have people come back in January and want to play when there are coaches and teachers and everyone else around you saying, why is Conrad still here? Why are you still here? And there was a reason that you believed in the things that Flores was saying, Coach Hansen was saying, and what I was saying as well, that you believed in each other. So above everything else, this has been one of my more emotional seasons because you truly see all the hard work and the lessons that we talked about and that character that comes from not just getting handed everything you wanted, because it was never easy. And I appreciate all the love and support that your family has given you and the lessons that they have taught you, because this didn't just come from the three coaches and our surrounding staff. It came from the families. You learning those lessons early and then us feeding into that and you buying in made this season successful, regardless of whether we put a banner on that wall or not, because I guarantee those banners are coming. If you continue to have that resolve and that passion and that fight, even when people are knocking you down, even people wearing the same colors and same school that you're at, it never stopped you. So, the lower levels and, Coach Hansen, you stepping in last minute, and Flores, you being there from the get-go, keeping everything flowing. This all wouldn't be possible without you guys. So thank you guys so much for that. We'll talk real quick about these young men. Like I said, it was a very turbulent ride, and we're happy that it ended up the way it was and that we got everything that we wanted out of it. We went 8-2 in league after not winning a game. Like I said, in December. Played some very tough games against the team that won the league championship. And things definitely could have gone our way in either of those. And what was great about the team, it wasn't just one person who inspired us. It was a different person each night. And that's one thing when you talk to the other coaches in the league about the team that we had. It was that we just had different players stepping up, having big moments in each game, and kind of growing up and finding their role in the process. I think that's really a huge part of what makes up a team like this, is you find your role and you find your moment. And hopefully everyone who played this season had their moment and had that opportunity to feel like they were a part of the process. The first individual I have here, and each of these young men are going to receive a CIF certificate as well as their varsity certificate. We did make the first round of the playoffs this year, which again in late December, I don't know if that was an attainable goal at that point in other people's minds, but these guys showed a lot of resolve and a lot of character to make that a reality. This first young man, I have a great heart for because he was there from the get-go. he was there when we had 6 guys against Tustin, and we weren't making anything happen. And it never stopped his determination, his heart. He almost single-handedly willed us to win, hitting 5 threes right in front of Century's bench. And their coach kept looking over at me like, who is this kid? I'm like, that's your kid. You don't know about him. It's okay. But you're going to learn about him pretty dang soon. Just an amazing attitude. Everything that we asked of him, whether it was play the 4, play the 2, do everything that we ask, play big when we don't have a big. And then when a big shows up, fill your role right around him. And this young man did it. An amazing young talent, Oscar Jaquez. Oscar as well received an honorable mention for the All Orange League. So congratulations. Okay. You can say. I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to rush you. This next young man, hardworking, as hard on himself as we were of him. As a sophomore, he was entrusted to run the offense. And in an offense that's as complex and intricate as ours is, that's a huge challenge. Had some great success at the freshman level and thought that would just automatically carry over into a varsity season. And as he soon realized, it doesn't always work out that way. Was hobbled by a few injuries as well. But it never stopped his resolve and his heart and him showing up every day, asking questions on how to get better, just picking my brain, watching film, and learning and growing. And I appreciated that heart and that effort because I think that showed a lot of character that his other teammates appreciated as well, and that's Sean Wen. This kid. Didn't know if it was ever going to happen. Didn't know. Flores kept hyping me. Nah, man. Coach, he's there. He just needs to get things right. You know, he'll be there for you. And once he's there, I said, I know once he's there, he's going to be who he is. Just such a joy to be around because he doesn't take on this persona of look at me, but you can't not notice him when he's out there. You can't notice the heart and the ability and the drive and the motor that this young man has in a game that is not his naturally. He is not a natural basketball player, and he'll be the first to admit this. But it got the notice of everyone else in league because he was a unanimous first-team all-league player on his first year in varsity, which is a huge accomplishment for anyone, but for someone who came on late in December to have those kind of accolades, not from his own coaches, but from every other coach in the league. It says a lot about this young man's character, and when he puts his mind and his heart to something, he's going to be a success, and that's Shamante Rogers. Can I say that? Well, yeah. Okay. Better than Malik. Okay, was that easy? I can say that without any reservations. Now Malik's gonna come after me, but it's okay. It's okay. Did you have my back, right? Okay. Oh, you? Okay. You're not stopping Malik Shamonte, maybe. I don't know about you. This next young man, hardworking, a cerebral player out there, had struggles trying to find his way, just where he fit in the mix. That was, I think, one of our biggest struggles was when you have players that are rotating around and you have to find a home for each of these young men. And this one, it just seemed like it was lost in the shuffle a little bit. And I felt bad because him, much like Oscar and a few others, were there from day one and didn't deter from that process of just continuing to work hard and get better. And I hope that this season kind of showed him what it means to be dedicated to a program, and that this isn't for everyone. That the time and the effort you put into this, it is worthwhile, because not everyone is given these opportunities. And when you're done with high school, they become much fewer. So hopefully you enjoy these experiences, and I enjoyed this young man, just being around him and learning from him, and that's Charlie Rosick. Another one of these seniors that has been around for a minute. I'm gonna miss this kid because I can't remember when he wasn't around. I say that about a lot of seniors, but this one more so, just because for 3 years he has been with me, either on the radar or, on the varsity squad. And, I can still remember that sophomore game, him hitting reverse layups and hitting jumpers on the baseline and making plays, and my eyes start to light up. I'm like, this kid's a sophomore, and through every trial and every challenge and everything that was thrown his way, he always seemed to make it right. He always seemed to make it work for him, and it's never been easy. And it's, again, just a true testament to you work hard and you get what you've earned. And this kid definitely embodied that. And the league unanimously voted him All Orange League as well. He was second in the MVP voting to the MVP from Century. So it was nice to see other coaches acknowledge the talent that this young man has, and just, I think his was more a culmination of his years here at Savanna, and I appreciate the time and effort he's put into this, and hopefully he got as much out of it than we got from watching him, and that's Tyler Rube. I've had the pleasure of working with this young man in a few different sports. In years past, I did a little bit of volleyball, and you get to see characters. This kid's definitely a character. And I didn't know if it would come out in basketball, because he's a little more reserved. It's not his sport. But he played some huge moments for us, and I think he finally realized maybe he's not the potential of Duke, but maybe, I don't know. But he really shined. That Calvary Chapel game where that hoop must have looked about 5 feet big, because everything that left your fingertips was going in the basket. And in a game where we couldn't stop anyone, they couldn't stop you. And I think that just lit the fire to what you can do in this game. And like I said, it wasn't even all about you, but I can remember many a game watching the film back and having to turn down the sound, because every time that ball left his fingertips, the crowd was just screaming, knowing that shot was going down in the corner. And that's Michael Shostall. this next young man, such a pleasure to be around. Just comes to work every day, puts a good work day, put a good day's work in, and then calls it a day. Shakes my hand. Have a good day, coach. All right. Thanks for being here. And just, had that personality of, there was nothing that was explained as far as, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Okay, I'm just going to do everything you ask. And every day he showed up, never knowing if he was going to play, never knowing what was going to happen, if there was a jersey for him. He just wanted to be a part of the program. And through that process, everyone who was a part saw the growth that this young man made. It wasn't a make-a-wish, some charity that we were buying into. It was a young man that was growing up and not just being a part of a team, but producing on both ends of the court. His defensive intensity improved greatly, and his shot wasn't hitting the rafters anymore after we worked on that arch. So, but he's a fan favorite, a crowd favorite, and definitely a favorite of his teammates. They'd always love to get him involved and get him a part of the process, and that's Isaiah Seal. This young man has been here for a bit, not only because he had siblings who played here, but he's one of those, much like Oscar and Charlie, who were here all summer, went through a tough fall where we were trying to figure things out and where we were going to fit. And, he really just took it upon himself to grow. He showed a lot of growth this year. Again, it's character building when you're faced to emerge as a significant player and not just be a role player. And he really embodied that, taking on the point guard position, especially when Sean got injured, and facilitating in many ways. And I thought at first, well, he's just going to be a zone buster, just a person that we put in the corner who will knock down shots. And I don't know where he's going to defend. I don't know. He can't defend his own dad when he came out. So I'm like, who's this kid going to? What's he going to do? And he emerges as this kid who will stand up to the MVP of the league and strip the ball from him when there's a loose ball on the ground, and when there's a rebound to get, he goes out and gets it. And he's not afraid to get his nose dirty and to work hard and do things the right way. And I appreciated his growth and his maturity. I think that led to the success of this program and our team this year, and that was Shiloh Spence. Okay. Coach Hansen mentioned this young man just a little bit here. Another fun personality, just a fun kid to get to know. And as a sophomore, I'm excited for the next 2 years to get to know him even more and to have him rack my brain, and hopefully we go back and forth as far as what he can do to help us be great. I think he definitely has that potential. You saw it when Tyler allowed him to, and when he got out of that shadow and just became his own young man. I really appreciated his maturity in finding his way, because we all have a path, I think, that we take to get to this level. And even when you're here, you have a path that you take to make it worthwhile. And I appreciated you working in that journey and sacrificing some pride maybe, and playing JV and learning that process and learning what we do in this program. I think you showed a lot of character in that, which is why that MB or the Offensive Player Award was so well deserved for you, because you facilitated, and it wasn't like, well, you're just the best scorer. It was our offense was better because you were out there. I think that was true at the varsity level as well, and that's Elijah Street. Characters on this team. That's what makes up a team, is you have just these inspirational kids who just kind of come through, and you don't know what they're going to do, and you don't know if it's Tuesday and they're going to show up, or you're going to take their mom to the airport, or where they're going to go, and then you have to sit a kid out a half because he didn't show up in practice before, and we don't have anyone who can hit a three at Valley because that's one of the worst gyms to play in, and this kid comes out and knocks down 2 threes, and everyone just kind of looks around and goes, all right, well, here we go. And he just ignites a fire in us. And there were so many definitive moments, like I said, for each of these young men, and this young man definitely had it. And I hope that you don't have any regrets about the things that you've missed, because the times that you were there, you were present, you were a part of the process, and you made us better. And I hope that you continue to have that push in your life, and that it guides you to stick to something and to dedicate yourself to it, whether it's a job, just whatever it is that you choose to pursue, because you are a success and you're contagious to be around just because of that positive attitude. That's Jared's song. He's a young man. Yeah, he's a good kid. This last young man, he's easily forgotten. Maybe it's because his name is last in the alphabet. I don't know why. Because he just does things the right way, and I don't think he even understood how much he belonged in the program and at the varsity level. But he's just the type of kid that just always does the right thing. He puts himself in the right spots. He does all the little things, and much like the players that were mentioned earlier at the different levels, he just makes big plays at big moments. You don't realize it. His wingspan and his anticipation and his ability to compete at this level. It was evident, probably most evident, in the Kennedy game when he came in and we needed a push and we needed someone to play because they were running through us. And he stepped up on the defensive end and he made steals and he would make the right backdoor cut, and he reads the game really well. The game that we played at home versus Anaheim, where seniors weren't cutting it and we weren't knocking down shots, I had to call on this junior to step up and make big plays, and I think that ignited the rest of the team to make that push on the defensive end. So I appreciate those moments that you had, and I look forward to many more from you, and that's Adrian Vasquez. Our Varsity Rebel Award is an award that we have that just embodies what we are as a rebel, what it means to be a rebel. And I think this young man, with his hard work, his tenacity, and his ability to just be gritty and not be afraid to get dirty, like I said earlier, definitely earned him this award, and that's Shiloh Spence. Most improved, This young man thought he'd play about 5 minutes a game, and he realized that he was much more than that, that we needed him to play big moments for us to feel successful, and he really embodied that role of knockdown shooter, backdoor cutter, making plays on both ends, snatching big rebounds if needs be, and just making big plays for us, and that was Michael Shopstall. Our defensive player of the year was a tough one because there's a lot of different facets that go into it. I think this young man, for everything that he did offensively, I think he was shadowed by how great he was defensively, where he could stop someone on ball, whether it was on the wing, up top, or guard the bigs down low. He was our second leading rebounder, and also second in steals. And for a player who played a big man, that's not easy to do, to kind of fill both roles. But he did it. Like I said, he was a great on-ball defender and weak side defender. Our defensive player of the year, Oscar Jaquez. Like I mentioned with the coaches before, I know that it takes a lot of great people to make this happen, and our scholar athletes are huge to our success because we play at a time where our semester grades are ending just as they're starting to play and having late practices, and we have to make sure that everyone's grades are on point. So we've had a lot of success, and in a few minutes we'll acknowledge all of those who had a 3.0 GPA or higher. We had quite a few from every level, so it was great to see. But this young man was our representative from the varsity team, and through every challenge that he had, he never let his grades drop, even though maybe he did get 1B. I'm not sure. It's okay. It's all good. No, we'll blame it on the knee. But our Scholar Athlete Award winner is Sean Wen. Our Offensive Player of the Year, young man who just kept everything flowing. Worked on his game a lot to evolve into a shooter, not just a slasher, a driver, and someone who kept the offense flowing. But he was the kid where if we were looking for a late shot, the ball was going to be in his hands. We were going to live and die with the decisions that he made. And that's what you expect, especially from your seniors, and someone who's been around the program for a while. Like I said before, I appreciate the time and effort that he put into this, and I hope that he gets everything out of it that he put in. And I look forward to continuing our relationship even after his years here, because he will be missed. And that's our Offensive Player of the Year, Tyler Ruth. It's funny because I didn't know if this would be difficult, but then you start to think about how this season went, and we wouldn't have had the success that we had if this young man didn't play. Like I said before, the other coaches acknowledged it by giving him a unanimous first team All-League honor, and for everything that he brought to the team, and just his unselfish nature, but giving a second chance after second chance, by getting offensive rebounds and by averaging at least 12 rebounds a game in league. And then forcing teams to foul and then to knock down free throws and make plays definitely put us over the top and allowed us to be the team that we were. So our MVP this season, Shamonte Rogers. Yeah. We've got my seniors come back up real quick. We have Softstall. Come on up. You get a participants wanted to. No? Am I stealing your thunder? I'm sorry. So what's my jam? Isaiah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Shamonte. Tyler. And young Jared there. Thank you. No one forgot that. We had mentioned Mrs. Portillo as a support system. I think what a great support system we had in our athletic trainer in Kat. Thank you for keeping our young men safe, for allowing them to feel comfortable coming to you, because it's never easy to admit that you have an injury or an issue. You make it very easy for them to rehab and get back and play the game that they love and not be afraid to have those tough conversations. So thank you for making this successful.